Do you just want to introduce this?
Well, on the back of this conversation about censorship and Toby Young, here is the one, the only Jacinda Ardern holding court here at the UN General Assembly. And I apologize if this is not the creepiest little speech that you'll probably see this week, but listen very closely and take notes to what she's saying because there's so much to unpack here. But go ahead.
This week we launched an initiative alongside companies and non-profits to help improve research and understanding of how a person's online experiences are curated by automated processes. This will also be important in understanding more about mis- and disinformation online, a challenge that we must, as leaders, address. Sadly, I think it's easy to dismiss this problem as one in the margins. I can certainly understand the desire to leave it to someone else. As leaders, we're rightly concerned that even the most light-touch approaches to disinformation could be misinterpreted as being hostile to the values of free speech that we value so highly. But while I cannot tell you today what the answer is to this challenge, I can say with complete certainty that we cannot ignore it. To do so poses an equal threat to the norms we all value. After all, how do you successfully end a war if people are led to believe the reason for its existence is not only legal but noble? How do you tackle climate change if people do not believe it exists? How do you ensure the human rights of others are upheld when they are subjected to hateful and dangerous rhetoric and ideology? The weapons may be different, but the goals of those who perpetuate them is often the same: to cause chaos and reduce the ability of others to defend themselves, to disband communities, to collapse the collective strength of countries who work together. But we have an opportunity here to ensure that these particular weapons of war do not become an established part of warfare. In these times, I'm acutely aware of how easy it is to feel disheartened. We are facing many battles on many fronts, but there is cause for optimism, because for every new weapon we face, there is a new tool to overcome it. For every attempt to push the world into chaos is a collective conviction to bring us back to order. We have the means. We just need the collective will.
Oh, God.
Yeah, did she go to the same school as Liz Truss, Patrick?
Wow, yeah, well, she's an understudy of Tony Blair. Let's just point that out. She worked with Tony Blair during his rise to power. Do you notice the Indian delegation during that were just staring at her with a blank stare, like, what is she on about? New Zealand's what, 3 million people, and so she's trying to dictate global policy on censorship from the UN pulpit and using the injured voice. You notice how she employs sort of Obama-style gushing dramatics with the injured voice, but she's calling information a weapon of war. So basically, bracketing analysis and opinion that goes against the official narrative. She alluded to the Ukrainian situation, that we can't end this horrible war if all this disinformation is circulating. And climate change, she threw that in there, and so forth. The weapons of war: information, opinion, news, analysis. It's not coming from the source that she or her globalist cadre approve of, then that's a weapon of war, says Jacinda Ardern. So, I mean, where can you start? I don't know, Mike, did you pick up anything in there that was particularly offensive?
Well, yeah. Well, she's very much on the narrative for sure with respect to disinformation and misinformation. But look, Patrick,